All right, today I want to show you different ways you can spice up the visual interest of your map and help draw a viewer's attention to a specific area without having to actually move the map. First up, we have these trimmed path animations. These are really simple to create, but very, very effective. So to create them, just grab the pen tool, turn on the stroke, turn off the fill. I have a white color selected with 10 pixel width. Now I'm just going to draw out a path along my map here. And now what I want to do is open up the Effects and Presets panel, go to Window, select Effects and Presets, and search for Trim Path. Down under Presets and Behaviors, you'll find these two right here. Make sure that your shape layer is selected and grab them both at the same time, and then go ahead and apply them. It's going to apply these four effects here. You have Trim In Duration, and then you have Trim Out Duration. So you can specify basically the duration of these trims, but they will always take place at the in and out point of your actual layer. So you can see, you can't see the path now, but if I start to play it back, it basically reveals it on here. And if I trim this back, I'm going to use the Alt bracket key here. So it trims on and then it trims back off. I don't want it to go that way. I want it to trim from the end to the start here. So all you have to do for this is trim out the reverse path direction right there. So now it will reveal on this way and then come back this way. And you can change the timing of this. And if you trim it back even lower, it will kind of give you a cool look. It'll start to animate off before it's really finished animating on, and it looks really, really cool. Then you can change the blend mode and you can just style this to your heart's content. I can turn the stroke width down. And what's really cool is you can, let me do this, trimmed path 01. What's really cool is you can duplicate it and then just offset it a little bit. And if you have the different blend modes set, it's going to give you like a cool little look here. And you can duplicate it again and hit the G key and just grab the endpoints here and just, like offset them a little bit. It's just a really fast way to get different looks. And I can turn the stroke width down, have these overlap, and you can just duplicate these to your heart's content. You can play around with the taper and get all kinds of different cool looks. Another one of my personal favorites is a dashed line. And to create one of these, go grab your pen tool again, and I'll draw out a similar path over here. And then I'm going to open this up, go to Contents, Shape, and then open up the stroke parameter. And then down here you have dashes. If you hit the plus icon, that's going to add a dashed line and it gives you an offset. But if you hit plus again, it gives you this gap. Now I don't want to have these like little rectangles. I want to have just little circles that are perfectly symmetrical. So to do that, change the line cap to round cap and bring your dash all the way down to 0. Now you have these perfect circles. If you want them to be bigger, you can just bring up your stroke width. And if you want to spread them out, you can bump up the gap there. And now you have this. So what I'm going to do is just turn this down. I'm perfectly fine with this look here. And to actually animate these, you have this offset parameter. So you can move this either to the right or to the left. But what I like to do is just to automate it. I'll add an expression and I do time, and then I do times 100. And what that's going to do, that will just do this kind of like infinite animation that you don't have to keyframe. And if you want to change the direction, just simply make that number negative. If you want to speed it up and slow it down, just change this number. You can even create a slider control if you want to ramp it up and ramp it down. And what's cool about creating this manually is that if you decide to zoom in and zoom out in geo layers, it's not going to automatically change, the number of dashes like it'll do if you draw it out in the geo layers panel. So I'll call this dashed path. And of course, you can duplicate this as well and just grab your pen tool and add a little more interest to this by just moving some of these around ever so slightly. Now, if you're more of an arrow person, you're in luck because there are arrow presets in the Effects and Presets panel as well. Just simply search for the keyword arrow and you'll find right on arrow. And if you move your playhead to the beginning and double click on it, you'll see that you now have this new shape layer and it has an arrow right here. You can hit the G key and you can move this around. So let's move it this way and just kind of reposition it. And I made a whole standalone tutorial about arrows just a couple of weeks ago, and I have some presets that I created. So essentially what I tell you in that tutorial is how to customize the look of this, so you can very quickly and very easily just change the arrowhead here and make this, more angular. And you can play around with these keyframes, slow down the animation, change the size of the arrowhead, and you can even duplicate these and start to blend these together as well, and you can really create some incredibly cool looks. I really urge you to go check out that tutorial that I created, because I show you how to create like multiple arrows that look really dynamic. You can actually create arrows in geolayers as well. There's a specific arrow tool. If you want to learn more about that, I have a standalone tutorial on the topic. I'll link to that in the video description. All right, this next technique is super elite and powerful and kind of secret. I guarantee you not a lot of people are doing this. So what you want to do is grab the text tool. We're going to be using some symbols and animating these along a path. So go ahead and click and just start to type anything out. Grab all the text and then switch your font to Wingdings. So just search for Wingdings. If you don't see it, you can install it over on adobefonts.com. I'm going to go with Wingdings 3 because they have a bunch of different triangles and arrows, as you can see here. So I'm going to grab this arrow right here, and I think this is the U key. Yeah, so I can type out a bunch of these. And now I'm going to use these text elements or symbols or glyphs or whatever they're called and animate these. How do we do that? Well, first I can grab the pen tool, and with this text layer selected, I can go ahead and draw out a mask path, and I can have the text follow this path. So all you have to do is open up your text parameter and go down to path options, and here you can select the mask for the path. Now these will be along the path. Even if I grab the path and move it, it will stick right here. Super duper cool. And now there are all these different controls down here to customize the look of this. I can make them perpendicular to the path. I can reverse the path if I want it to go in this direction. So to animate this, I could first force alignment, but I don't want to do that because I want to animate the margins here. So I want these arrows to kind of go this way. So I can just animate this margin parameter. And if I want more of these, I can just copy, paste, 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 and then really shift these around like this, and maybe even, change the size of these. So let's change the size and start to play around with the tracking here. And then now I can just push these off the screen like this, add a keyframe, and actually I don't even need to have a keyframe. I'm gonna just go and add my same expression here. So let's do time times 100 again, and I don't know if that's gonna go in the right direction. Indeed it is. So you can just do it that way, or you can manually keyframe it. Maybe I should have manually keyframed it and give me a little bit more control. Another cool thing about this technique is that you can incorporate text animators and animate these with text animators. So for example, I could remove this expression, I can go to animate right here, and I can add a position parameter. And now as I start to adjust this right here, it will animate along the path as well. I can shift this around a little bit. But what I can do on top of this is use my range selector. And now I can start to control all kinds of different things. Like I could have these do an opacity animation on. I can do all kinds of different things, scale. So the possibilities are quite limitless. I have another standalone tutorial on this topic as well. I will link to that along with all the other links down in the video description. Another technique that I really like are just using flickering shapes. And I kind of like to think that it's simulating like a satellite scan. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to grab the rectangle tool up here. I'm going to turn off the stroke and just have this solid white fill. And I will hold shift and double click to create this little square here. Actually, we can make it, different size here, something like this. And now I'm just going to move this over to here like this. What I will do is I'll go to the Effects and Presets panel, and I'm going to search for something called Flickering Opacity. And down here you have Transitions Dissolves, you have at layer in and at layer out. So as we did with the trim paths, grab both of these at the same time and apply them directly to your layer here. It's going to give you a bunch of different effects that you can change. But just remember that this is essentially flickering your animation in at the in point and out at the out point, as is the trim paths. So I'm going to do the same kind of thing here. I'm going to just trim this down, and now we have like this quick little flickering rectangle here. And what I like to do is I like to take this, and let's just call it flickering rectangle. And what I like to do is duplicate and then just kind of offset it like this. And we're going to set these to overlay or add. Let's see, I don't know which would be the best. Yeah, add might be cool. And now you can duplicate these and just go kind of crazy. Like I can duplicate these over here. I actually used this technique on a Johnny Harris video one time and it turned out really cool. So now I find myself using it all the time. So here I have these 19 boxes and they're all kind of flickering on this way. I don't want that. I want this to kind of like move along with the path. So I'm going to grab the flickering rectangle one, and then I'm going to shift click all of these. And it's important the order that I do that, because now I'm going to hold Alt and Control, and that's going to activate this little symbol right here. And if you click and drag, you can now offset these. And so if we have like a 2-second animation here of all these flickering things here, and these are looking a little wild, we might not want to do the add like this. What I can do now is maybe bring the overall opacity down. You know, you just play around with different looks here. That's looking pretty cool. So you can customize this look if you want to use circles, but I like to kind of like mimic like a what would seem like a satellite scan. I oftentimes use this as like an anticipation to a zoom move. So it's cool if you're just like flying on a map and then you have this flicker, and then right after the flickering ends, you zoom in on that same area. It's pretty cool. It's like, okay, the satellite is scanning, and now you zoom in and you see it clearly. Or you can have other elements pop in after you scan it. Like I did in the Johnny Harris video, I have it scan and then it reveals all of these point elements. Love it. Okay, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, be sure to hit that notification bell so you get updates every time I post a new tutorial. And if you want to learn more about this topic, I link to a bunch of other related tutorials on my channel. I have 9 map animation moves every GeoLayers user should know. I have this North Korea testing nukes project, which shows you how to create these missile launches with contrails. And I also actually have an exclusive tutorial, how to animate the wake of a ship. The reason I shared that is because it shows how to use particle systems to add movement to elements. And it's really a useful technique that you can use on different elements. You can use it tons of different ways. So again, that's an exclusive tutorial from my Patreon page that I produced a few years ago. So once a month, I produce an exclusive tutorial for my tier 2 patrons over on that Patreon page. So if you're interested in something like that, I will link to that in the description as well. You can go check that out. And if you made it this far, I offer a discount on my courses. If you use coupon code Boone at checkout, you can get some pretty big discounts on both the individual courses as well as the bundle. So go check that out if you're interested. Again, everything's linked in the video description. It's a lot of links, I know. Oh, and this project file for this tutorial will be on the Patreon page as well. See ya.